So, yo soy cofundador de Seriously Creative.
Pégatelo,
Yo soy This is Courage, como mi brand personal, pero hoy en día yo trabajo para Ventor. Y Ventor es space y AI, technology y militar. Y mucho de mi trabajo es mirar el futuro. En fact, una manera de hacer mi introducción es, yo pedí del CEO de Ventor, what will space technology and satellites and warfare, because that's our business, unfortunately, look like in the future? And like, what do I need to read to understand that? He didn't tell me to read anything today. He had me read a science fiction novel, imagining warfare and intelligence in 2050. That's what every business, smart business, is doing today, looking to the future, not to the past, right? So, esta parte que estamos hablando. Assembling the future. Yo me voy a enfocar en, bueno, no, I'm going to do it in English actually, right? This is going to go fast. Buckle up, put the seatbelt on, keep your hands inside the ride. I'm going to talk about technology, but en realidad me voy a hablar de technology as an enabler of like what we might do next. So, we're at this inflection point. And it started this year, specifically this year. I know we always talk about, el momento es ahora. No, el momento es ahora. 2025, the next 25 years, is going to be a boom of technology and drastic change in the world. And this happens every so often. It happened after World War II from 1945 to 1970. The world explodes with technology and changes in systems, right? The three things are going to drive the entire world. Uno es artificial intelligence. The cost of processing goes down dramatically every month. Not every year, every month. It means what AI is doing right now is pretty amazing. What it's going to do in 6 months, it's almost a little scary, to be honest, right? Biotechnology will be the new kind of health care in the world. Right? Something that we're actually good at here in Puerto Rico. But that will change the way healthcare works. That will be the new mega industry, bigger than AI in many ways, right? Y el otro es the crashing cost of renewable energy. In Dubai, they're producing solar energy at 0.0 to 2 cents per kilowatt, right? So the way we power things will allow for industries you can't imagine yet, right? When you think of Luma today, just wipe it out of your mind, right? We can replace all of this, right? But there's also challenges we have. Societal economic upheaval is going to happen. There's haves, there have-nots, right? There'll be tons of people without work. There will be all kind of new jobs. This will be very uncomfortable. There's deglobalization. We've been globalizing for the last like 40 or 50 years, and suddenly it's Fortress America versus Fortress China. And if you don't think we're going to go to war, it could happen in the next 3 years, right? This means trading partners and supply chains are going to change. And we in Puerto Rico depend on the world's supply chain probably more than anyone. So if you think we're going to get things from other countries, that could stop very, very quickly. I know this sounds bad. It's going to get good, right? We have a sustainability crisis. We all know this. En Puerto Rico en específico, tenemos un aging population que significa we need to take care of those people, but then who does the jobs? We don't have enough young people. What is our economy built upon, right? That is fucking scary. Oh, fuck yeah, that's right. I drop it once a talk. Infrastructure death. Our infrastructure is at a death point. La buena cosa is we could reimagine our infrastructure in Puerto Rico because we have to. And we have a stagnant civic engine. We depend upon government for change, and government doesn't know how to change or innovate, right? So those are the big things. Let me focus on 3 signals. If those are the drivers, aquí son los señales, right? Uno is resilience as survival and sellability. We know more than anyone the importance of resilience, right? But we have probably one of the most fragile infrastructures. Energy, water, you name it, we have a problem, right? And to throw ourselves into 2050, we need to reimagine it drastically. It's not about improving our energy and water. It's about innovating it forward. The good thing is, when you really have a problem, you can become the innovator. And there's new ways of thinking about things that we could be at the forefront of inventing for the world. one of the signals that's really changing it is thinking about microsystems, right? Federated systems. Instead of having one big electrical system, having small electrical systems that are run by municipios might be a way to rethink like our power and our water, right? So that's kind of one thing. The other thing is we have the engineers to invent the new systems around the world, right? We should be exporting our resilience. That's a future for us. Healthcare as health and health innovation. Maria Fernanda talked about us thinking about healthcare as actual health. That comes with a lot of implications. What is our food supply? Where does our food come from? How do we reinvent our cities so that elderly people sit in la plaza y habla como antes? Because that's health, right? Walkability is health. How do we reinvent systems? The other part is biotechnology offers the chance to make healthcare individualized. England is doing this right now. They're trying to figure out how to provide individualized healthcare, right? We are good at biopharma. Why could we not be the inventors of these new systems? And why couldn't we be the test bed for creating the system of distributing individualized healthcare? Why? Because we're gonna need to do something because the current system really doesn't work, right? So the third one is harnessing a new collective civic engine. Estamos dependientes de nuestro gobierno para el cambio, but people have lost trust in institutions around the world. But people haven't lost their desire for change, especially young people. Enabled by data, new ways of working, digital tools, citizens suddenly have the opportunity to be in the driver's seat and be a partner with government. In reality, philanthropy, foundations sit right in the middle. There's a chance to change our role with the government and become a partner in discovering the problems, prototyping the solutions, and then scaling them. Why can't we own the schools? Why can't some of you actually run the schools, run electrical grids? This is what more people are looking at for the future of the world is how do we use data. And that means sharing data. That means all the data that all of you have, all the data that, salud, all the data that companies have, and all the data that government has to be in one place. We need to have one scorecard if we're gonna make smart decisions. So how we engage with government could be part of our revolution. It could be how we move fast, and we are the right size to do that. Cuando tú eres una nación como los Estados Unidos, making change is very hard because you're talking about millions and millions of people. We are the best test bed for any smart new revolution, especially when it's driven by data, right? I think the most important part is not just projecting the future, thinking about how we behave. El mindset will be important for how we get to the future. Y hay cuatro cosas para mí. Adaptation to experimentation. Yo creo que como foundations, como society, como businesses, we need to be prototypers, testers. Puerto Rico needs to become this innovation island not because we have the best idea and we're going to try to implement it, because we have many ideas and we try them out to see what works and get to the best idea fastest. The other one is we need to start thinking in moonshots and roof shots. Un moonshot es 10x. Significa we need to go really, really big with our ideas. We need to think beyond boundaries, which is what you're doing today, pero también we need to make improvements as we go. Collaborate like an ecosystem, especialmente aquí entre ustedes. How do we think of ourselves as one unit? An ecosystem. How do we break boundaries, build trust, share data in order to have a bigger seat at the table? And the last one is leveraging data and technology. The only way to do it is not just going to be through sweat, it's going to be through using data and using technology to move faster. In a world of mega cities where Lagos will be 84 million people by 2050, it'll be twice the size of Tokyo today, and most of the mega cities will be in the global south, we will be this very little thing. The way this little thing survives is by being the world's startup innovation laboratory, fast-moving, prototyper, do the things that the United States, which may be our one market to trade with if we get isolated from the rest of the world, to be the place where they test out ideas to see if they work, before they implement it all over. We have to be fast and smart and clever and innovators. That's how we get to the future. Gracias.